Now, switching gears, but still in this season, we're talking holiday planning and special foods and recipes with Shanisty Ireland, a food and lifestyle influencer and mom of 5 active kiddos. We actually recorded our conversation prior to Halloween, which is why you're going to hear a bit of conversing about some amazing decorations, which potentially you can adjust for perhaps next year or continuing on with the season. Shanisty Ireland, good morning. It's so great to connect with you once again.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, I am so grateful because I know you always are such a wealth of information of just fun things to do and how to do them. And I have the little advantage here of seeing you on video, looking into your kitchen and seeing this magnificent display of Halloween decorations. So really right into the midst of this season. So your kids must think that you are just this most magical mom because look at this ambiance you've created.
Well, I gotta tell you, it's been a work in progress though, because over the years, the kids have definitely said, Mom, we don't have enough decorations. We don't have enough. So I'm just accumulating them year by year. And hopefully this year, I think this year we finally have gotten the magic touch with the Halloween decorations. And then I just love this time of year because we just snowball from Halloween straight into Thanksgiving and then straight into Christmas. And it's just such a magical time of year, whether you have children or whether you don't. It's just a wonderful time to get together with your friends and family.
So if we don't have children, we can just be that child ourselves and experience
Yes.
all that. Right.
100%. And I am all about getting together with your girlfriends or the couples group or whatever it may be. Even if you just have a really fun neighborhood, getting together with some neighbors, hosting, or if you're going to be attending, it's always good to show up with a dish or perhaps a drink. It's just a really wonderful time of year to get together with some folks that perhaps you haven't seen throughout the year.
Right. Yes. And so the big focus for us this morning, but as here we've launched into talking about some Halloween and decorating, I think, but it's the whole big season. The thing that really caught my attention, and I think this happens more and more, is Friendsgiving, right? So
Yeah.
let's talk about that.
I feel like Friendsgiving has really grown in popularity over the last decade. It started with, of course, the popular TV show Friends, and it's just continued from there. And now it's turned into an annual tradition. I know that I have several friends that do the exact same thing with their friends every year. Even if they have kids, they've started to include their kids in it as well. Typically, they chose the weekend before Thanksgiving or maybe a couple days before Thanksgiving. But hosting a really fun, wonderful Friendsgiving is really a way to connect with maybe even some of those friends who might be lonely on the holiday even. Maybe they live far away from their family, or maybe they're just going through a breakup or whatever it may be. It's just a really great time to connect with some folks that you might not necessarily have around your table on actual Thanksgiving Day.
Right. Yes. So it is really wonderful for all those reasons. They're really making it inclusive because sometimes the holiday itself can be so emotionally draining or just have so many emotions attached to it. So to do something to kind of shift that and have a wonderful celebration just because we are together.
Yeah, for sure. And it can be emotionally draining. And what I'm here about today is to talk about some tips to make it not that, make it not stressful, make it as enjoyable as possible. So one of the first things I like to advise folks to do is to go ahead and start creating that menu now. It is never too early. You can make trips to the grocery store and pick up the pumpkin puree now. You can pick up some of those frozen food items. Perhaps you're going to have frozen noodles in a dish or whatever. This is going to help you not have such sticker shock as you get closer to your actual hosting event. If you can purchase some of those items, stick them in your pantry, stick them into your deep freezer now. Just week by week, as the closer we get, it's going to really help with those costs at the grocery store. Of course, It's very expensive to host. So there's nothing wrong with delegating some of those menu items to your friends, asking so and so to bring a certain appetizer, asking somebody to bring a side dish or a dessert, or perhaps even a cocktail idea. I think that what we sometimes overlook is that people that are attending a party, they don't want to show up empty-handed. And they also don't want to show up with something that you might already be cooking or you might already be making. So I don't think anymore it is taboo to just straight up ask somebody, please bring an appetizer, or please bring a dip. Or if you have somebody that's one of your friends that you know just isn't really savvy in the kitchen, have them bring some chocolates or whatever it may be. It can be something super simple. I think that people that attend are going to feel the love. That way they're not showing up with the exact same bottle of wine as four other people showed up with. And it also helps the host as well, kind of offload some of that stress and really some of the financial burden too.
Yes. And it just makes it feel more like family. We're all contributing and making it a real Friendsgiving, right?
Yeah, and also, and another point to make is I think people really like sharing a recipe that perhaps their grandmother made, or they made with a great aunt, or they got the recipe from a previous Friendsgiving or a previous Thanksgiving. I think that they like to share unique menu items that perhaps folks haven't tried before, or if you culturally celebrate a different holiday or whatever it may be, bring something that people may have never tried before. I think that we all love to brag about our delicious recipes, so there's nothing wrong with that, to just bring something very unique to the table.
Right, exactly. And you've got some rather tasty, tempting things to share with us this morning.
I do, and I have a really unique item. I've got to admit, I have never made it before this morning. But I'm not gonna lie, I've already eaten like half of the casserole dish of it. It is that delicious. This is my loaded cauliflower. And I actually had my parents over here this morning. They were helping out a little bit with the kids. I had my dad try it. My dad he's in his 70s. He can't get past this, like we're eating cauliflower now, right? And he tried it and thought it was absolutely delicious. So this is something you can serve as an appetizer or a side dish. It's extremely simple. All I did was took a head of cauliflower. I went ahead and steamed it and mashed it. And then I mixed in sour cream, crumbled bacon, 2 cups of cheddar cheese, and green onions. I mix that all together with a little bit of garlic powder. And then I toss that into the oven for about 10 minutes on 350, just until the cheese melted. You can also put tinfoil over top of it so it doesn't burn on the top. And that's it. You can serve this with Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. You can serve it with pretzels, any kind of cracker. You could honestly just eat it straight up like mashed potatoes. It was so delicious and so wonderful. And I think people would be really surprised to know it was actually cauliflower in there.
And that sounds really quite simple to put together.
So simple. Yeah. And what I also love about this recipe is it is something you can make the night before or a couple of days before. You could even freeze it if you need to. You can make it at the morning of and then just toss it into the oven whenever you're getting ready to bake it.
Yes. And of course, we know how important that is because it comes to closer to the day and there's just so much to do. So anything we can do to relieve that kind of stress.
Oh, yes, I know. I'm actually, my husband and I are hosting a Halloween party tomorrow, and I'm in the kitchen for, 3 days ahead of time, just making as many things as I possibly can that I know won't go bad. I'm pulling stuff out of the freezer. If you're going to be making the actual Thanksgiving Day dinner or the Friendsgiving dinner, you can absolutely make the green bean casserole in advance. You can make the mashed potatoes. You can make the homemade noodles or whatever it may be. You can make a lot of those things in advance because when your guests show up, nobody wants to be sitting in the kitchen working, because it also makes it awkward for your guests. You have everyone standing around the kitchen saying, what can I do to help? And really, if you're a host, there's nothing you can do. Just leave the kitchen and let me finish my work, right?
Right. So that sounds like a simple and delicious appetizer, or we could use it as a side dish. That would work really fine.
You really could. And I want to share one more recipe with you if you have the time.
Absolutely.
Thanksgiving Day is traditionally a day where people like to have some alcoholic drinks. They like to have some adult beverages. So if you find yourself, maybe you went too many glasses of wine, I have a really delicious recovery smoothie recipe that you can make for yourself the next morning. This is going to have some frozen pumpkin puree in it. You can just stick that into the freezer and just kind of have it frozen. That's going to give it to the cold. You can also use ice if you don't want to go with the frozen pumpkin puree. I have 2 tablespoons of Barney butter. I love this brand. They use blanched almonds, which basically means they boil their almonds and then they run it under cool water and they take the skin off the almonds before they make the almond butter. Barney's butter, this stuff does not last long in my pantry. Everybody goes to town on it. It's really delicious. I like to put that into my smoothie. I also have about a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, some unsweetened almond milk, a little bit of coconut butter, and then you can add some toppings to this: cinnamon, pumpkin seeds, even whipped cream if you want to, a little bit more of the Barney's butter, anything like that. Mixing that all together, it's really wonderful. It's packed with protein, and it's less sugar than it doesn't have a ton of sugar in it, so that's going to kind of offset the recovery process for the morning after.
Right. Oh, and that sounds delicious just in general to have as one of your go-to smoothie recipes to get your good protein boost for the day.
It is. And this is something you can make, year round. You don't have to add the pumpkin puree. You don't have to add the pumpkin spice. You can, seasonally, if you want to have that pumpkin spice in there, you could also substitute that out for cinnamon or nutmeg or cloves around the holidays, or you could just completely omit it 100%, like just have it out of there. So there's a lot of options with that smoothie. It's really delicious. My kids even like this smoothie, believe it or not. So if they like it, then I can guarantee your listeners are going to really enjoy it as well.
Because in case people haven't become aware, you have 5 kiddos. So that's a big testing audience.
It is, yes, 5 of them. So they're all scattered around and they're very excited about the holidays, that's for sure.
So quick question then. We've been talking about Friendsgiving, which I think is such a great holiday. Will you be planning also to have your traditional Thanksgiving?
We do. My mom actually hosts the Thanksgiving for the family, and she is kind of a Martha Stewart. She wants to take it all on herself. I think in recent years, my cousins and I have kind of stepped up and said, hey, we'll make this side dish for you. We'll do this for you. And she's kind of relinquished a little bit of that control, but she really hosts a fantastic Thanksgiving dinner. So yeah, we will do a traditional one for sure, because even having a Friendsgiving, at least for us, it's more of an adult thing. And then the Thanksgiving Day, of course, is the whole family.
Yes. And it's great just to have that huge gang together, isn't it?
Oh, yes. Yeah. There's nothing like it in the world. Watching football, hopefully the weather will be nice, get the kids outside, get some energy out. So it's always a great time.
Right. Oh, it is always so fun to connect with you, because you just have this great enthusiasm for all that you do, and, helping us to have that for all of our celebrations as well. So for people to connect with you, let's give them that option.
Sure. Just head over to Instagram. It's at Shanisty Ireland. I tell folks, if you just Google my name, you're going to find me, because I think there's only one. If you find a second one, it's not the real one. So yeah, you can find me over on Instagram. I share a lot of real life behind the scenes, pulling the blinds back to the life with 5 kids and the realistic recipes and a lot of fun holiday stuff as well.
Well, this one has opportunity. This opportunity has just been really great fun, and great to have the insights and some great ideas going forward into this very festive season. So, Shanisty Ireland, thank you for who you are and spending this time with us this morning.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
You're so welcome. That brings us to the end of a very full hour of Inspirational Women with Shanisty Ireland and Dr. Rosha McCoy, and Sunday Morning Magazine with Dr. Macy Smith. I'm Kate Daniels, your host, and I greatly appreciate your sharing this hour with me and these special guests. For details you might have missed or information you would like to know, please just send me an email KATED, at warm1069.com, and I will get right back to you. Also, if you'd like to listen again or to share these important stories with your family and friends, find the podcast on our Warm 1069 webpage. Just click on the Listen tab, then Podcasts, and then either of the show names, and then look for the guest names. I now wish you and your family a day of some special connections and important conversations. Have a week of the same, and then please plan to join me again next weekend for another hour of Sunday Morning Magazine and Inspirational Women on Warm 1069. Good morning.